Warm good morning to one and all. So in this video, we are going to discuss about the endocrinology of lactation. What is lactation? The secretion of milk is known as the lactation. So how the milk is going to be secreted? How the milk is going to be secreted? So that is a very good process. The hormones play an important role in the secretion of milk. So, apart from the hormones, what are all the other structural features which is going to help or assist in the lactating mother? So, the development of the breast. So, it is the secondary sexual character present in the female which is going to play a major role during the lactation period or once the parturition happened or after the delivery or after the gestation period. The mother is going to feed the young one or going to nurture the young one with the help of the milk secreted. So this breast is going to play a major role in the secretion of the milk. So how it is going to develop? So the breast begin to develop at the pubertal stage. So this development is stimulated by the estrogen secreted by the corpus luteum. So the corpus luteum is going to secrete the major hormone, the estrogen, which is going to stimulate the development of the breast. So the estrogens stimulate the growth of the breast or the mammary gland, plus the deposition of the fat to give the breast a mass or the structure. The breast will be a round mass-like organ, and that mass is given or the structure is given by the deposition of the fat. So in addition, far greater growth occurs during the high estrogen state of pregnancy. So even after the puberty also, the breast is not completely developed, and when the women or when the girl is getting pregnant, then only the glandular tissue becomes completely developed for the production of the milk. When there is a need, it automatically develops. So that happens here, and then then the growth of the ductal system of the breast is stimulated by the estrogen. So we said that the breast is going to get developed. So what is there in the breast? It has many small ductules or the ducts, which is going to help in the transfer of the milk produced. So how this is going to get developed? It is because of the production of the estrogen, which is going to stimulate the development of this ductal system. So large quantities of increased amount of estrogen is secreted by the placenta throughout the pregnancy period. So during the gestation period, this estrogen hormone is stimulated or secreted by the placental structure, and this caused the ductal system of the breast to grow and develop into many branches. Simultaneously, the stroma of the breast increases in quantity due to the large quantities of fat laid down in the stromal region. So also the important for the growth of the ductal system are at least four hormones. Main four hormones are there. Apart from the estrogen, which is going to stimulate. Apart from that, there are four important hormones like growth hormone, prolactin, the adrenal glucocorticoids, and the insulin. Each of these is known to play at least one important role in the protein metabolism, which presumably explains the function in the development of the breast. So, how it is going to play a major role, what it is going to do, that is clearly explained. So, the breast has many ducts and it has the lobule alveolar system. The finer muscular mass of the breast will be converted to milk secreting organ. It is just a mass that is before the pregnancy period or before the woman is giving birth to the young one. It is just a mass of muscle. But once she get pregnant, once she conceives the embryo, automatically the muscular mass is converted into the milk secreting organ with the help of the progesterone, another hormone, the progesterone. When the ductal system gets ready, the progesterone acts synergistically. So, along with the estrogen, The progesterone is going to act both together. And other said hormones, we also said some other hormones also, that four hormones we have said: growth hormones, insulin, and rest of the two, adrenal. All these hormones are together going to help in the growth of the breast lobules and also in the development of the alveolar secretion. So these changes are analogous to the secretory effects of progesterone on the endometrium during the later half of the female menstrual cycle. So what is this analogous secretory effect? So which is going to play on the endometrium in the uterus. So that is also going to play a major role during the breast development. The promotion of lactation by the prolactin, the main hero or the heroine enters the a major part of the process. That is the prolactin. We spoke about different hormones like insulin, growth hormone, adrenaline, estrogen, progesterone. We said about different types of hormones. Though this prolactin is going to play the main role. So what it is going to do? Though the estrogen and progesterone helps in the enlargement and development of the breast, only it is going to develop or it is going to increase the size or the mass of the breast. A specific effect of both these hormones is to inhibit the actual secretion of the milk. This is not going to promote the lactation. It is going to inhibit, at the same time, it is going to develop the mass. The hormone prolactin has exactly the opposite effect on the milk secretion, which is going to promote prolactin. That is the previous step for the lactin secretion. Prolactin is secreted by the mother's anterior pituitary gland, and its concentration in her blood rises steadily from the fifth week of the pregnancy until birth of the baby, at which time it has risen to 10 to 20 times or even more to the normal non-pregnant level. In the non-pregnant women or in the one who is not going to nurture the young ones, the prolactin level will be very, very low. Whereas, right from the fifth week of the pregnancy, the breast will be started to develop, which will be getting ready for nurturing the developing young ones. When the young one comes, it is ready to feed and nurture the young. So, in addition to this, the plasma secretes the large quantities of human chorionic somatotrophin hormone. Human chorionic somatotrophin, which probably has the lactogenic properties. Might be. So, each and every secretion has a reason. When the placenta secretes this, it has a reason for the nurturing babies. So, it has to be nurtured. So, it is not scientifically proven as of now. So, it might have the lactogenic properties that's supporting the prolactin from the mother's pituitary during the pregnancy. Even so, because of the suppressive effects of estrogen and progesterone, no more than a few milliliters of fluid are secreted each day until after the baby is born. The fluid secreted during the last few days before and the first few days after parturition is called the colostrum, which is called as the first milk. That is, it is not clearly called as milk, but it is called in a term called as colostrum. That is the fluid secreted during the last few days before and the first few days after the parturition. That is before the parturition a few days and after the parturition a few days. The fluid secreted, it is not called as the milk. Please note down here. It is not mentioned as milk. It is a fluid that is called as colostrum. And it has essentially a large concentration of protein and lactose as milk. As milk. Again, it is not considered as milk, but it is equal to milk or it is superior than milk, which is going to give the much immunity to the younger one. But it has almost no fat. There is no fat, and its maximum rate of production is about 1 by 100, the subsequent rate of milk production. So, even it can be called as um, the immune booster for the young one, that is 10 to 20 fold or 20 to 30 fold, depending upon the need of the baby, how much suckling it is going to give, how fast the baby is going to feed the mother's breast. Based on that, the amount of secretion of the prolactin will be increased, which is going to increase the secretion of milk for the mother for another 1 hour. So, this prolactin acts on the mother's breast to keep for mammary gland secreting milk into the alveoli for the subsequent nursing period. If this prolactin surge is absent or blocked as a result of hypothalamic or pituitary damage, or if nursing does not continue, that is, if the baby is not suckling, if the baby rejects to suckle the mother's breast, the breast lose the ability to produce milk within 1 week or so, because the suckling induction gives the stimulus to the hypothalamus and the pituitary to start secreting the prolactin. And when once the prolactin is secreted and it reaches the blood, it gives the stimulation for the breast to secrete the milk. So if it is not done within a week or so, the milk secretion is stopped. However, milk production can continue for several years if the child continues to suckle. So here, the baby is suckling the nipple, breast nipple, is going to be the stimulus. Although the rate of milk formation normally decreases considerably after 7 to 9 months. So, suppression of the menstrual cycle and breastfeeding mother. So, usually our grandparents will say, so when the mother feeds the young one, normally the menstrual cycle will be stopped or it will be suppressed. So, what is the reason for that? In most nursing mothers, the ovarian cycle, that is the ovulation, does not resume until a few weeks after the cessation of nursing, because the same nervous signal from the breast to the hypothalamus, which cause the prolactin secretion during the suckling, either because of the nervous signal or because of the subsequent effect of increased prolactin, which is going to inhibit the secretion of gonadotropin releasing hormone by the hypothalamus. Hope you can understand here. It is a feedback mechanism. We already spoke about the feedback mechanism also. So here another one, that is the nervous signal is also going to play a major role. That is the same thing. When the baby suckles the nipple, it gives the stimulus to the hypothalamus to secrete the prolactin. And the same signal indicates the hypothalamus not to secrete the gonadotropic releasing hormones, which is going to make the ovary to release the ovules. Okay? So this happens here. So this in turn suppresses the formation of the pituitary gonadotropic hormones, that is luteinizing hormone and the follicle stimulating hormone, which does not allow the follicles to mature. However, after several months of lactation, in some mothers, especially in those who nurse their babies only for some of the time, that is three months, working mothers might be they are working or due to some other health issue or due to their might be many reasons. A few can be listed. Due to their convenience, mothers might not nurse their babies. At that time, the pituitary begins to secrete sufficient amount of gonadotropic hormones to reinstate the monthly sexual cycle, even though nursing continues. So this also happens. So see, this image clearly shows you the milk letdown process. So what is this milk letdown process? So here the image shows increased milk production triggers increased suckling by infant. So this is a, as I said, it is a feedback mechanism, positive feedback mechanism A plus symbol indicates the positive feedback mechanism. So when the baby starts suckling, see here, hope you can see the cursor moving here. So this is the breast, and here the alveoli and the lobules are there. So here the milk will be produced, and through this tubules or the ducts, it reaches the nipple. So when the baby starts, milk is pooled in lactiferous sinus before being discharged through the nipple pores. So when the baby starts to suckle here, what happens? It automatically gives the signal, positive signal for the hypothalamus. The hypothalamus receives the trigger through the sensory nerve impulse. You can see here the baby. See how beautifully the baby suckles the nipple, and which triggers the sensory nerve impulse. Brain receives the sensory impulses from the areola, that is the surrounding area. Nipple is surrounded by a black color patch which is called as the areola, and releases the oxytocin, OT. So you can see the OT, that is oxytocin. What is the role of this oxytocin? Oxytocin will be giving the contraction and relaxation. When the lobules are contracted and relaxed only, the milk will be let out. When the baby suckles, automatically the milk will be let out. So the oxytocin will be secreted, released from the hypothalamus and posterior pituitary. So this oxytocin release makes the lactiferous ducts to enlarge and to release the milk. So this is called as the milk let down process. So this image clearly shows you how the process is done. See the next image. This is called as the prolactin reflex. So this is a long arrow. So here you can see a long arrow when the baby starts suckling the nipple. A long arrow is indicated which takes the impulse from sucking to the brain. And another short arrow is there. So this short arrow induces the pituitary gland releases the prolactin into the milk. Oh, sorry, into the blood. And now the breast, this is the breast region which causes the alveolar. Inside this, you have the alveolar cells which start secreting the milk, and the alveoli become swell. It will be swollen. And when the baby sucks the milk, it again shrinks. So this is the milk ejection reflex. So this is prolactin reflex, and here it is the milk ejection reflex. See what happens when the baby suckles. It takes a long arrow, nerve impulse from suckling to the brain. Short arrow, the pituitary gland releases the oxytocin into the bloodstream. There it releases the prolactin. Here it releases the oxytocin. So the breast muscles around the alveoli squeezes the milk. As I already said, it will be contracting and relaxing to squeeze the milk. Is it clear? So these two images clearly shows the process, how the milk is getting secreted.
So thank you all. And here I would like to convey my thank, or I would like to acknowledge the unknown people who worked for the GIF and the regular images, and also for the source of the content. And the video is only for the educational purpose. Thank you so much for your patient listening. And in the description box, I have given an MCQ. So just attend the quiz to enrich your knowledge, or to identify how much you have gained. Thank you once again. We'll meet in the next video in the same series of endocrinology. Thank you all.